my toe. This bottle's done, but my glass is half full.
Next time we get a fucking Harley Davidson, we'll fucking ride down on that.
So, after the trip the other day, long day, took us about 4.5 hours to get down to Exeter, down to the West Country, and took us a hell of a long time to get back, but it was all worth it because the baby's here. Check that out. That is a Bassani Road Rage exhaust system. I think it's a Road Rage anyway, but it sounds absolutely insane. So let's have a listen, see what she sounds like. Injection. I think that sounds pretty good. So I've not touched this bike since I got it. I haven't had time, so I'm going to give it a clean today. I'm going to tighten up everything that can be tightened up, which could go loose. I've got a service kit on the way, like, you know, primary oil, main oil, gasket for the primary for the primary cover. I'm going to make sure the clutch is all set right and everything. Yeah, it's just going to tidy it up, tighten it. There's a few bits that I need to order. There's a few bits that are a little bit kind of like worn away on it, but it's a 21-year-old bike, so you know that's what's to be expected of that kind of thing. But other than that, I'm proper happy. Just can't wait to get out on the road and actually start riding this bad boy. Oh, the start of this little mess around. I had the cam chain cover off. Need to change them cam chain tensioner shoes, which is a common problem in these early twin cams. So I thought I'd start the job early. I was meant to start on Thursday, it's now Tuesday. But this tank is a son of a bitch. There's not a lot of information on how to remove these ones, but it's got two connectors at the back, and it's the front. You've got this, like a, I don't know if you can see it, it's like a fuel line that connects the two at the front. Had to pull that, bloody fuel pissing everywhere, managed to catch it all in there, catch most of it. I've got myself pretty high with all the fumes in there. So yeah, got to take the rocker covers off. Just giving it clean so no dirt falls in the rocker, in the engine. Got to take the rocker covers off, get the push rods out basically, so I can relieve the pressure tension on the cam chain and get that out. And then Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Get this baby on the road so I can actually ride it and enjoy it. Right, the last time you saw me I was just about to embark on doing this bike. I've done it, I think. I've just put some petrol in. Let's have a look. Is it going to work or is it not going to work? That is the question. Didn't bore you with the whole actual doing it all, because one, I've probably got loads of hate because all the ways things are wrong I did. Would have made for funny viewing, but like that. that sounds good or not. How you doing? So basically, bike's done, everything's back buttoned up, everything's running good. The previous little bit I showed you where I first fired up the bike after doing the work sounded a little bit weird, and I think that's because I drained all of the fluids in the bike, transmission fluid, oil, primary, and obviously, you know, once everything was out and I put everything back in, so I think when I fired the bike up for the first like 1 minute, it was just getting all the fluids back through the bike and getting it going again. So it sounds wicked now. Taking it out for a few rides. I'm going to take you guys out with the GoPro today. Just it will spin around sort of like the area in Kent. But yeah, I'm really happy. I've changed the primary cover because that was really sort of in a bad way. I've changed the push rod covers. What else have I put in? Reused pretty much everything else, like push rods and stuff like that. Anything else? There's a few bits I want to sort out. Like I need to get I've got the trim for this, but it's an absolute pain in the arse to actually fit it. It sounds strange, but I think you need to get the fender off to really get to it because the screws are so awkward. I want to change these sort of lights, change these eyelids on the lights, just a few little bits and pieces. Probably look at getting a solo seat on there as well. I've got some hard bags coming from a company in Germany. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they're cool. They were quite a good price, so I've got the brackets and the bags. And other than that, that's it. Like I'm going to keep the bike sort of one sort of solo kind of bike. Get the hard bags on when I'm going sort of a little bit further afield. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm happy with the bike. Got myself a Road King. I'm not too sure about the Sportster's future at the moment. I'm not too sure whether I'm going to sell it or keep it, but it kind of seems counterproductive to have two of them. Have the Sportster and the Road King. I seem to be riding the Road King quite a bit at the moment, and it's so comfortable. Yeah, that's sort of something to think about. So, what do you reckon? Do I keep the Sporty? Do I sell the Sporty? I don't know. Maybe I should sell the Sporty and buy a very different type of bike, other than kind of like a Harley. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Maybe I might get sort of something a bit more sporty, a bit quick. I don't know. I'm not too sure yet. I've not completely made up my mind. So, but yeah, it was a short video. I didn't bore you with the intricacies of me doing the work because I think I would have probably gathered quite a bit of disdain if I'd have done the work on camera. I probably did a few things wrong, but I mean ultimately I got it right in the end, but I did it well. I'd followed loads of videos. I went to sleep every single night watching a video of how to do the work, so it was inside my head and built in here. But yeah, I'm happy. I've saved myself probably the best part of 700-800 quid getting a Harley independent or Harley Davidson himself, even more, to do the work for me, on which is really not really a big job. It's just more, it's very pain in the arse and finicky. Although I did get someone to actually put the shoes on for me. That's the only bit I didn't do myself because that was a little bit complicated. But other than that, I did everything. So sweet. Let's go for a ride. So back out on the bike with my fellow biker on the left here. Hope she isn't listening. She won't be very happy. Follow her. Got this baby buttoned up. It's been a bit of a long process from when I bought it. It's been a couple of months because I bought it at home, had 30,000 miles on the clock. I didn't want to push it, I didn't want to tempt fate, because apparently these early twin cams, the cam chain tensioner shoes need doing like anything between 25,000 miles plus. Mum's on 30, so I just thought, you know what, let's have a look at what they look like. I opened it up. They didn't look terrible, if I'm honest, but they also definitely, like, you know, it might as well have got it done. Yeah, imagine how you'd feel. You sort of get your new bike, well, old new bike, give it a few, you know, do some miles on it, and then them cam shoes go and you're screwed basically. So I just thought, for my own peace of mind, let's get it done.
And while I was at it, I tidied up the bike a bit, replaced a few horrible bits. And yeah, I think it's brilliant. I might see I have to tweak the shocks a little bit still. I've tweaked them a bit since I got them, so it's riding a bit smoother. I think I can probably get it a bit smoother. It's got a set of Hagon nitros on there. They're meant to be pretty good from all accounts, from what I've read. But yeah, the ride is just so different than the Sportster. And my main thing was what sort of shocked me is I thought it was going to be like turning a bus around a corner, like moving this around, from what I kind of heard from people. And you probably listen to too many people that actually don't ride Road Kings and Victorias. But as soon as this thing's moving, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, obviously there is a difference between the Sportster. I found out on my first ride with just the clearance and stuff with those foot pegs, but other than that, I mean, it's quite a manoeuvrable bike. It doesn't feel sluggish. Yeah, it feels great. And also, I've got a seeking suspicion that when I opened it up and I took the top rocker covers off, like, it had all been like skimmed out by the valve springs, like the clearances. So there's bigger valve springs in there. So my guess is that was done because I think it's had it's obviously it's an 88 CI. I think it's had the 96 done on it personally. Yeah, I think it's had a bit of engine work done on it already. I mean, it's like a 21-year-old bike, so someone's, you know, at some point, most people with Harleys tend to want to mess around with them. So I reckon this has been messed around with in a good way. But yeah, it's been a while, guys. It's been a while. I haven't posted anything for ages. Mainly just life. Been busy. Messing with bikes, you know. Nothing's really been on the road. The weather, as you all know, in the UK, and I think most of Europe, has been absolutely abysmal this year. Last year we were in lockdown, like full on lockdown, and the weather couldn't have been better, which in hindsight and for people's mental health, I think it was probably a good thing that it was really nice in that kind of like time. But at the moment this year, the weather is just shocking. It's been raining all the time. We're in kind of mid-July now and it's still raining. I mean, today's obviously alright, but there's so many few nice days at the moment. And you know, call us you know, it's not about being a fair weather rider. It's just, unless you really need to and you're like commuting on stuff, it's just not enjoyable riding in the rain. You know, I ain't gonna give you no special biker brownie points just because you can ride in the rain. I can ride in the rain, but I don't want to walk in the rain, so why the hell would I want to ride in the rain? I think that's a little Virago. Oh, hey! My brakes didn't stop as much as I want to then. Bloody sheep in the road. Thing is, I pull over and probably scare them even more than bloody going past. But yeah, runaway sheep. Don't see that every day. Although that is the main difference between this and the Sportster. The Sportster's brakes ain't great, but it's a lighter bike and I've got the AA3R base, so the brakes kind of do work a bit better than your average Harley. But on this, I mean, you could see that and it was like stopping a bloody freight train. It didn't want to stop, and I didn't want to yank the brakes on, you know, like go mad. But yeah, that might be another project for a rainy day. Better brakes. I think if I come to a situation where it's a serious braking situation, it's going to be collision avoidance as opposed to rely on these brakes to do anything. See them ramblers' faces looking at me in sheer disgust. Way too loud. Too loud. Hopefully there's no more runaway sheeps. Sheep, not sheeps. Sheep. Oh my god, looks like a bag of sheep. Spilled out over there. What's that about? motor, alright? On the highway, or the motorway, as we like to call it in England. The universal nod of the biker. And people say Harley riders don't nod back. Please. Yes, we do. The nice ones, like me. Nothing worse than when you get a hair in your mouth on a full face helmet with your visor down and your hands are busy. It's what basically eat it. Now let's go and get some coffee, shall we? I like a cocoa nut latte. One shot, not too much. I don't want to get high. That's my drink order.